Hi everybody, what is going on? It is your boy C4 there, and we're almost done the journey of breaking down the top 5 players for each individual position and giving them the pro comparisons for the 2014 NFL Draft. Today, we're on corners, and next video we'll be doing the safeties to wrap it up. So, for the corners, we're going to go through 5 through 1 as well as including a sleeper. And for a sleeper, we're going with Marcus Roberson, the corner from Florida. Right now, he's projected anywhere from rounds 1 to 5. I haven't seen a discrepancy in this player or in a player in quite some time. Marcus Roberson, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, projected to run a 4.5 40. His pro comparison is Carey Williams of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, as an Eagles fan, it's pretty easy for me to make comparisons with these players, which is why you may see so many Eagles in my comparisons. But Roberson is pretty much Carey Williams. He's hot and cold. I do think he is better than Ladarius Webb. He's a physical corner, which may be a little bit of a downfall because he may draw a lot of flags his way for pass interference with how soft Roger Goodell is making this league. But I think he will be a very, very solid corner for years to come. He's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest guy, but he plays very well. He's smart. But I do think that in the end game he will be better than Ladarius Webb, regardless of where they get drafted from. I watched a lot of Gator games. Roberson stood out to me more than Webb. Number 5 is Stanley Jean-Baptiste. Right now, he is one of the biggest freak corners that you'll ever see. He's 6'3", 215-pound corner, 220-pound corner, converted wide receiver. So that's why he gets the thing as a less aggressive, poor man's Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is by far the best corner in the NFL. So Stanley Jean-Baptiste, after maybe a couple years, will be able to generate the same kind of buzz that Richard Sherman has, and maybe at the end of his 3-year rookie contract, will be wanting a $10-12 million payday. I really hope the Philadelphia Eagles jump on this guy. He can go anywhere between the 3rd and 5th round. He's an impressive length and position. You can't really teach 6'3" corner. I think that teams may reach on him because of the Richard Sherman build thing. He's already been labeled by a couple people in the media, not just me, as a poor man's Richard Sherman. But I just think that, the Legion of Boom and the way Pete Carroll organizes his secondary there in Seattle pretty much shows that you need to go big or go home in regards to the secondary. And I think Jean-Baptiste is going to be, that new mold of corner that a lot of people are going to want to watch in this league. And I think he'll be a very, very underrated talent. I was going to put him as my sleeper, but a lot of people are starting to gather hype about this guy. I think if he has a very, very good combine, I think he's probably the best press corner in the draft, regardless, even though he is pretty raw. But, take a look out for this guy. He's going to be good. Number 4, we're going for Bradley Robey, the corner from Ohio State. Right now, Robey, I'm comparing him with Ladarius Webb. I think that he's good at everything, especially tackling. Tackling is a very, very underrated characteristic for a corner. For me, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you have to watch guys like Dominique Rodgers come around, who's basically timid to make a tackle. When you look at guys like Ladarius Webb, who are great in coverage, have good hands, good cover skills, physical, but can also come out and make a tackle. I'd say that Robey and a guy we're going to talk about a little bit later in Ladarius Webb are pretty much the 2 best tackling corners out of my prospects that I'm going to talk about here. I think Ladarius was one of the most underrated corners in the NFL. If I was making a dream team, he probably would make it in a corner just because he's so goddamn underrated. But I do think Robey will be a great player. He's not 6'3", 6'4". He's not like this new generation like I was kind of talking about with Stanley Jean-Baptiste, but he will be a very, very good corner. Number 3, Jason Verrett from TCU. I think for Jason Verrett, his pro comparison is Brandon Flowers of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think both these guys, though not, the ideal 6+ feet tall, they're just very, very good at using their hands at the line of scrimmage, good in press coverage, good in man coverage, can also play a good bit of zone. But I do think Verrett is one of the more NFL-ready corners out of all this list. Some of these guys have the tools to be corners, but may not be ready to jump into a starting position right away. But I think Verrett will be one of those guys. So yes, Verrett and Brandon Flowers, pretty much the same type of player, both pretty good in any scheme that you put them in. Number 2 is Darqueze Dennard. I believe he won whatever the award is for the best corner in college football. Dennard, the corner from Michigan State. His pro comparison, I have him as a less polished Joe Hayden. I think they're both very, very aggressive corners that, he's good in the, I actually think he's probably a better tackler than Joe Hayden, but very, very good in any type of cover you have. Cover 2, he has great awareness, good He's just a smart football player with good cover skills. He's not super freak athletic. He's not going to be the guy that I don't think he probably will struggle a little bit in man. But for him being in cover defense, he's the best in the draft by far. And the ability that he's going to be able to, if the cover is not there, he can come up and make a good play in the run with his excellent tackling. Reminds me a lot of Joe Hayden. His only downfall is that he's a little too aggressive sometimes. He's got to, aggressive in both sets, that he will, draw some pass interference penalties, but more or less he might bite on something trying to get an interception and blow his coverage. So that way there, just because he's super aggressive and needs to tone it down a little bit, is why I couldn't make him the number one corner. But being compared to a less polished Joe Hayden, I think that's pretty good. Number one I have is Justin Gilbert, the corner for Oregon State. Now I'm comparing him with Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie of this year. Now, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, every year except while he's in Philadelphia, he was one of the premier corners in the league. Freak athletic ability, good size, 6'6", 6 feet, 6'1", excellent coverage, shutdown corner, what you could say. That is what I have for Justin Gilbert. Obviously, we're not going to mention Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie while he played for Philadelphia, where he's pretty much afraid to tackle, and he looked so out of place, and that was so disappointing. But this year for Denver Broncos, he was phenomenal in coverage. And that's what I see for Justin Gilbert. Justin Gilbert's also going to be an added addition in regards to the return game. He can probably stick him in there, as a return man. He gets an interception. He's going to remind you a little bit of Ray Lewis. He's always going to be looking to return it for 6 points. But I think Justin Gilbert is pretty much, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie's in form. That's pretty much the closest thing to compare Justin Gilbert to. So he'll be I think he's going to be excellent. He's going to be an excellent freak athletic. And if you give him maybe a year or two to really learn the coverage and learn the NFL game from the college game, he will develop into a great starting corner in the NFL. But there you have it, guys. Those are the top 5 corners for the 2014 NFL Draft. As always, let me know in the comment section below who you think will be the top corner in this draft. Smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV for all the 2014 NFL Draft Pro comparisons. Until next time, guys, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.